No. Faido, Faido, Faido. Uh, Hello. What? I guess Link me something about it. I don't know. Hello. I'm gonna go for a few seconds. Fido is very nervous. I'm gonna get him a hot dog. I'm gonna get him a hot dog to calm him down. Because as you can see, he is very agitated. Oh, the dryers are driving him nuts. Mm. Fido. Fido. I guess we can start with the mat pad thing. Hold on. I'll be right back. Fido. Also, we'll play the game. Mini Discord. Game Fury is political now. Okay, I will have to. For the segments, I will take. I will turn off the fires. Okay. For the duration of the politics, the dryers are off. Hmm. Oh yeah, let's play the pin game. Let's play the pin game, okay? I've got my paper. Hold on. Hold on, everyone. Let's play the pin game. I've got old packages here. Internet is back, I think. Okay, yes. Yes, Yush. Alright. My goodness. Hello. Welcome back. Boom. Nice, okay. Alright. Welcome back. I wonder who's still left. Also, let me see. Let's play the pin game. Let's play the pin game real quick. Oh my god, Lucy, your audio. It's not my fault. How's the audio now, by the way? I turned the blowers off for the duration of the political segments. Hmm. Hmm. My goodness. Hmm. Alright. Hello, Philip August. Lucy, did Fido eat the internet? No. The internet just died because I'm in Poland. And Poland apparently has worse internet than wartime Ukraine, which is incredible if you think about it. Okay, game theory. Guess we can start with that. Why not? I don't see why not. Oh, let me check something real quick. I don't know. People are weird. I just got a comment asking me, suggesting that my drawn little avatar is a minor. My god. I think I know if I draw a minor or not. And no, I don't. Okay? Just in case that wasn't clear. So let's do this. Let's do this then. We might as well start with. Oh yeah, how's the audio again? I bet a lot of people dropped off. Uh, the what? Rev D what? Inco what? Yeah, that's because I turned off all the blowers, and the only thing that's left is the the humidifier, the thing that gathers moisture from the air, and that still makes a little bit of noise, but I think that won't be. I don't think that will be audible. In the meantime, because I'm going to Ukraine this week, consider, consider throwing a donation or a subscription. And also, while you're at it, play the pin game with me before I do the segments. The pin game works basically like this. We try to insert the pin, and if we actually manage to get it and unlock the laptop, then we rejoice. We're going to be able to play the pin game again in 43 minutes. Anyway, I would, but I'm poor. Same. Well, I don't have to say that I'm poor as well, but this is not just a theory. Oh my god. I cannot believe this. I'm actually familiar with this channel. This is a theory. A game theory. Hold on. I'm gonna change the thing. I'm gonna... Might as well. Might as well. Maybe with this segment I'll grab some of the audience members of this content creator. Would it be cool if I got some of this person's viewers? So I guess I should start by saying that this person is a YouTuber. That's basically the only thing that I know about him. That had a YouTube channel. Does the YouTube channel still exist? About various speculations about game lore and I don't know, all sorts of theories game related. And the catchphrase of the channel was, or still is, but that's just a theory, a game theory. He would, I don't know, think of some convoluted thing about some part of the game, and they would run with it. I don't know why, but this game received a lot of criticism. I'm pretty sure this channel received a lot of flack, and I have no clue why. It's just a cute little channel that discussed games. I don't know why people criticized it so heavily. Was that a thing? Was Game Theory channel hate a real thing? Let me Google it real quick. Why does Game Theory channel get so much hate? How Game Theory survived the hate. Okay, we might as well watch that video. How game theory survived the hate. So, because I'm pretty sure this channel was very hated. There you go. We're gonna watch this. Before we do the political thing, we're gonna, I don't know. Does Game 3 deserve the hate? There's so many of those videos. Yeah, he got a lot of hate for the Undertale theory, if I remember. What was the theory? I love MatPat, but some of those FNAF theories are just straight up stupid. I mean, no offense, but FNAF itself is pretty stupid, so... The stupid theory matched the stupid game. I'm sorry, I just... Okay. Hot take, I'm sorry, I don't feel like Five Nights at Freddy's is some glorious, amazing thing. I'm sorry, I apologize. Any theory that you would attach to the premise of Five Nights at Freddy's will be stupid, because the premise of Five Nights at Freddy's itself is pretty stupid. Oh, you know. Apologies. Some people really are super into Five Nights at Freddy's, so I don't mean to. I don't mean to cause offense. What was the Undertale theory? I have no clue what the theory was. Okay, how game theory survived the hate.
14 years of game theory. This channel has been making content for about as long as I've been conscious. And now here it is, coming into a new era with the retirement of MatPat. That guy has been on an absolute journey through
Wait, this guy retired? Really? He retired from making content?
career. And as I watched the last game theory, reflecting on the past and hopeful for the future, the only thing I had on my mind was...
Wait, since when did you guys like game theory?
Like, what the fuck? I remember in high school, all my friends were like, game theory is dumb and lame, and it's wrong all the time, and MatPat is just crazy. Why I hate game theory fell off, MatPat is problematic.
What's that even about? Was that even supposed to be correct? Wasn't the whole point of the catchphrase, but it's just a theory, a game theory, that it was just, I don't know, some little musing for fun? Wasn't the catchphrase supposed to sort of protect him from that criticism that he is incorrect? Oh my god, looks like, oh, that's Xander Hall? Oh my god.
Game theory debunked 1,000 times over.
There was so much hate.
Why would they debunk some speculating about a game for fun? Why would you debunk? That makes no sense.
At game theory over the past decade and a half, and some of it was even well thought out, and yet here game theory is, as strong as ever. How the hell did game theory survive all that hate?
By ignoring it? I don't know.
In order to understand how game theory got through the hate, we first need to understand the hate itself. Who's doing it, where is it coming from, and why? And to start that off, we gotta go back, all the way to about here. Game theory had been doing its thing for a few years now, and it had grown into an established brand on 2016 YouTube, and generally, it was well liked. People would watch the newest theory on the newest game, laugh at 2016 memes, and maybe even learn something. It was a good system.
How many subs did it have in 2016, by the way?
And
was it in the millions, or...?
This was good. Theories got good views. They came out with a new channel called Film Theory. MatPat even got an original YouTube series. Oh yeah, and there was this little indie game series called Five Nights at Freddy's that made for a great couple of theories. You know, the games weren't perfect, but I'm glad the series ended on such a nice, succinct note after 4 games.
Up until this point, game theory was viewed with a certain sense of immunity. Like, people didn't really question any of the theories. After all, it's video game theories. Who cares?
And I feel like that is...
Because the catchphrase is... The catchphrase itself is like, it's just a theory, a game theory. Every video, the guy basically said, don't treat this seriously.
what most people thought of game theory. That was until... yeah, you know the video.
I don't know the video. Oh. I actually think I might have seen it. I don't know. Who's Steven? Who's Steven again? What? No way. That's funny. That's funny if anything else. People got mad over it? Really? You're kidding me.
Sans is Ness was the inciting incident. A theory so bad, it caused people to discredit game theory's entire history.
You're kidding me. People got mad over this? People are so stupid, I swear to God. People are just silly. I cannot believe this.
And honestly, looking back, it's not that bad of a theory. Sure, it's weird as hell, but so are a ton of other theories.
Yeah, it's just a person having a bit of fun. What the Are you for real? Really? Oh no, how dare you? Oh God. Oh my gosh.
Claim to hate on the Undertale fandom being horrible or butthurt, but Sans' Ness was far from the only game theory in 2016 to receive major backlash. Overwatch vs. TF2, Sans visits the Pope, Phoenix Wright is wrong, another Undertale theory. Man, this guy cannot get a hit with Undertale. The reason why people hated these videos so much at the time was a mixture of two things: the limitations of a game theory video and the audience the video brought in. The limitations of a game theory...
I wonder what the audience is. I wonder. I will stand by my opinion. That theory is great. I loved it. I mean, it was just a bit of fun. It was a fun little theory. People were supposed to have fun with it. I cannot believe it.
Video is that it's not really empirical when it comes to games.
Well, no. No, of course it's not. Hello there. Hello, lettuce. I cannot believe that people made a big deal out of game theory and treated it seriously. I am shocked and appalled.
It's an educational video series that comes out every week that's like max 20 minutes. And it's a lot more focused on being correct about the education than it is being correct about the game. But that doesn't really become a problem until it's introduced to the wrong audience. Gamers.
Oh no. Gamers.
The thing about gamers is that
Jesus.
they're fans of the games that they play. They know a lot about it and they take it pretty seriously. When these people see a game theory of their favorite game,
That's so stupid. I'm sorry.
they say, oh boy, content for my favorite game. But sometimes game theory trying to create an educational video gets something wrong about the game, or misrepresents some aspect of it. And when you misrepresent a gamer's game, gamers get mad.
True though. It's true. All of it.
Game theory made a lot of enemies in fandoms
Oh my God.
of games who felt disrespected by individual videos and collectively started to hold game theory in more and more contempt. But beyond just the hate for the infringing videos, people started to look back at game theory's old videos and scrutinize those too. And this is where the real storm started with game theory debunked. People made a lot of those videos, and this did not help game theory's declining reputation. Hate begets hate, and the existing contempt for game theory allowed small issues to become big. Dude, this guy's theories always sucked. He's not even smart. MatPat? I don't know. I used to like him, but now he's just cringe. Hey, how many FNAF videos is this guy gonna make? Hey, look everyone! MatPat's selling out! Oh my god. As you can see, even though the hate mostly comes from game theory, a lot of it got shoved onto MatPat too.
But that's the hate. Game theory makes nonsensical arguments that misrepresent the games that we love so much, and MatPat is cringe.
I never understood the hate. Honestly, I never understood it. It always felt silly to me.
And lame. The validity of this hate varies from
No,
point
it
to
does
point,
not. It does not vary. What do you mean the validity of the hate? How can you hate on a person that just wants to have a little bit of fun with video games and creates a silly little theory about it? No, it does not vary. I'll stand by it. It's silly from start to finish. If you were ever angry about that channel, you yourself are silly. You're a silly, unserious person. Obviously.
That doesn't matter now. All that matters is that more and more people are participating, and game theory's reputation is going down, down, down.
So how did MatPat beat it? Did he ignore it, fight against it, make a 50-page twit longer? No, none of these. What MatPat did that allowed him to beat the hate was start a live channel. The problem with MatPat's image was that people only ever really saw him through game theories, and game theory sometimes, in design, pisses people off.
By starting a live channel, MatPat could present himself in a more free-form way that distances himself from the less desirable aspects of a game theory. And also...
But wait, you said all these videos started in 2016, but game theory's live channel started in 2015. It wasn't in response.
The live channel is only half the battle. The other half is how MatPat presented himself, specifically in response to the hate.
When people called MatPat crazy, instead of refuting it at every chance he got, he became crazy. He made crazy a part of his brand. When people said, this guy's making too became... When people called...
is how MatPat presented himself, specifically in response to the battle.
I actually don't remember that.
And it wasn't in response.
The live channel is only aspects of a game theory, and also a way that distances himself. Starting a live channel, MatPat could present himself in a more free-form way.
Pisses people off.
By starting a live channel, MatPat could present himself in a more free-form way that distances himself from the less desirable aspects of a game theory. And also...
But wait, you said all these videos started in 2016, but game theory's live channel started in 2015. It wasn't in response.
The live channel is only half the battle. The other half is how MatPat presented himself, specifically in response to the hate.
When people called MatPat crazy, instead of refuting it at every chance he got, he became crazy. He made crazy a part of his brand. When people said, this guy's making too many FNAF videos, he stopped making FNAF videos. Just kidding, no he didn't! He doubled down and made 1 billion more FNAF videos!
Oh my god. I should do that. I should do that too. When people hate me about something. That's why people were complaining about immigrants being horrible and immigrants destroying countries and immigrants being a drain on the economy. And this is why I have prepared a topic about what? What's in the title? That's right. Anti-immigration narrative crumbling. I cannot make 1 million Five Nights at Freddy's videos because I don't have haters hating at me for talking about Five Nights at Freddy's, so... I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand how that works. The thing isn't just about making Five Nights at Freddy's videos, it's about reacting to the hate. Ugh. You don't get it. You don't understand the system.
people didn't like his theories, he would have a heart-to-heart explaining why he did what he did, and he let people know how he was going to change for the better. And when people said he sold out, he made on-the-couch videos where he would actively discuss industry trends and details. With every single
Five Nights at Lucy's, that's true.
piece of hate, he stood through it and had an active response, joining in on the jokes against him, constantly proving that he worked for the viewer, and when he had genuine, valid criticism levied against him, he took accountability. And I think the live channel was a huge part of all of that. I genuinely think that GT Live was the best thing MatPat ever did for his image. The stuff MatPat put on with it was great at reminding people that, oh yeah, MatPat is like a good and fun person. Charity streams, fan events, clips that still make the rounds to this day.
Do it, watch your calories.
Don't you tell me how many calories I need.
The common theme throughout all of this is that the hate that other YouTubers would shit
It's like kindergarten. It's like kindergarten with the whole, no, you dirty whore.
pissed their pants over, MatPat endured and used. You gotta remember, a lot of these dramas online are smoke, mirrors, and people getting mad for like a week. If you can
We
survive...
played Phoenix, right, on stream just recently. I want to say today, but I don't think it was today. I think it was just recently.
of the week, you'll probably be fine.
And beyond all the response
To be honest, I kind of stopped watching Game Theory because I didn't have interest in Five Nights at Freddy's, but nowadays I watch an episode from time to time when it's on something that is interesting.
responses to the hate,
Yeah, I think I started playing from the second game by accident, so I'm gonna retrace my steps and I'm actually gonna start playing the trilogy from the first game, like God intended.
MatPat was just a good person in general. Something that has become more and more rare as time has gone on with influencers.
You
What?
can call MatPat a lot of things, but one thing you can't call him is a coward. He worked through the big scary drama, bettered his image, and admitted when he was wrong. Plus, he was doing consistent good for the people around him and the communities that he was in.
And that's a winning strategy whether you have 20 million subscribers or 2.
Aww, I have somewhere in between. And I think I'm doing the winning strategy, don't you think? That's great. I feel like I have a number of subscribers that's between 2 and a few million, right? And I do the winning strategy, so I think I'm doing well. Yeah, Lucy's always winning.
But
Sorry.
hey, that's
Just a theory. A game theory. Film theory. Food theory.
Style theory.
Gay theory.
Man, it is not the same without MatPat in it. Good luck to those other 4. Yeah.
Why is it always Minecraft YouTube? Whatever, we're not looking at this. That's not the point, but... New Quest, Washington, D.C. After 2 years of work, Steph and I have just launched the Creator Economy Caucus in the House of Representatives, a bipartisan group where creators can work alongside lawmakers to ensure legislation is timely and relevant for the internet age. Wait, internet content creators? Creator economy is just a theory, a politics theory. I don't think he's gonna work towards banning AI necessarily. We already got 10 reps on board and we're just getting started. Well, we'll eventually want to assemble creator advocates from around the country. So if you're interested in helping Washington understand our world, stay tuned here for more info. I'm surprised that they didn't try to involve creators like... Wait, how big is Game Theory? 19.6 million subscribers. Oh my god.
Last time on Game.
It's a huge channel. 500,000 views 3 days ago, 860,000 views 10 days ago, 1.3 million views 2 weeks ago. Oh my god. Okay, now it makes sense to me that they did not actually involve the political content creators. I don't know. I wonder what's the criteria of the content creators that they involved in this. I mean, technically speaking, just because you're a big content creator, it does not follow that you have experience in politics, right? And do they just accept anyone who's a content creator? Did you just bring anybody in? Is the reason why they didn't bring Vosh or Destiny because they are PR poisoned with their controversies? Just like real politicians, though. Just when people thought Vosh was PR poison, it turned out Destiny sort of, I don't know, raised the stakes, so to speak. I don't know what to say. I'd like to get more info. Destiny said, hold my beer. True. Isn't there something more than just this little... Surely there's more. K3, which vice president is an epic gamer? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Chat, is this real? MatPat in Congress? Three hours ago. I think it's a pretty recent development. So... MatPat is a politician now. 2 views. Wow. I don't know what to do with this. There's no information. There's no information. Chat, is this real? People are acting like he's running for Congress, but this is incorrect. He's trying to bridge a gap between creators and politicians so that creators are seen as legit businesses like those that have ties to politicians currently. He's basically trying to speak to politicians as a representative of creators on the internet to advocate for their needs. No one is doubting MatPat's creds to do this. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Still kinda cool. Did not expect this on my 2025 bingo card. I did not expect that either. Essentially, if Walmart can lobby Congress, YouTubers should be able to at least to talk to Congress. MatPat representing people, so he is a representative. I mean, I guess. Although I don't know what that does for me to be represented in Congress. Right. So he's just creating a group that speaks to the Congress. He's not becoming a politician himself, from what I'm hearing. So he's not in Congress. He's not becoming a politician. He's just setting up a group that will work alongside lawmakers. So I don't know. I mean, the initiative is great, but I've been led to believe that MatPat would be a full-blown politician, and it seems like that's just not the case. He wants to work alongside politicians, but it doesn't seem like he wants to enter politics in earnest himself. Does that make sense? I guess I'll end this segment on that thought. Like, he's not really getting into politics. Hello, Maya Mayor. He's just, well, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay what's happening here, but I've been led to believe that he was about to become a senator or something, which would have been wild, but, that's cool too. Please let this segment become a YouTube video. Okay, I can edit it. Even though, okay, be level with me. Was this interesting? Did I add anything interesting? Did I actually do anything with this? Like, I read about it. I watched a little segment about how he survived the hate, and then we discovered that he's not really becoming a politician. He's just creating a group that is supposed to be communicating with politicians to be better represented as creators, I guess. To make legislation that would take into consideration the new internet media landscape. Politician adjacent? Yeah, that's accurate, I guess, sort of. Alright, we did it. What do you think? What do we think? But it's just a theory. A politics theory. That's gonna be the end of the segment. I'm gonna edit it in. It's just a very, very, very... How's the lighting, by the way? Review the lighting. Is the lighting okay? Blue? Wait, that's important. It's not blue. Is it? Very blue? It doesn't look blue on my end as I look at it. Oh, it does look blue. How should I... What should I do to fix it? I think I know. Blue sea. Wow. I think I know how to fix it. Is it still blue? It's still a bit blue, but better. I will have to fix somehow the light. You used to use dark mode? Wait, dark mode of what? Oh, of the... Wait, dark mode of what? Reddit? There you go. I'm less blue now. Isn't that cool? Alright. I guess the Game Fury thing is gonna be blue. White Reddit, eyes burn. Listen, I don't go to Reddit very much. Sue me. Sue me for not going to Reddit a lot. Let me see. How's our 30 minutes? 30 minutes till we can do another pin run. So steady your minds, prepare yourselves, and let's get this thing rolling. Excellent. We did a beautiful, beautiful segment about game theory. Hopefully it will give me 1 billion gazillion views. Just like the channel itself. Good for you. Especially Erpolska and Sane coping there from KO voters. Like what? Oh, I have actually a new topic related to the election. So we'll be talking about it. And of course, we'll be talking about the vote of confidence that's going to be tomorrow. I'm going to possibly cover it. Okay. Now we are back, I think. I mean, I'm back. I don't know if anybody watching is back, but you know. If it is what it is. I'm in Poland. Polish internet. Wait, go say again? You're kidding me. Well, he's not playing Go at all. Go Sagan is playing balloons. That's... I did not expect that to happen. Whatever. Hello. I'm not muted. Oh yeah. Since we're back, okay. We are back and 7 minutes. 7 minutes and we can do the pin game again. Are we happy? No, I'm scared to do the main segments that I wanted to do. I don't want the internet to die in the middle of a segment that I want to do. I would devastate me. For life. Oh, 1 minute. 1 minute till the pin game. Oh my god. I cannot wait. Just 1 minute and we can start unlocking the laptop once again. Yeah. The game in which we guess the pin game. That's right. Also, we're gonna check what President Sunday is up to. Bad Empanada has no solutions. Oh, wow. Really? You dare ditch my boy Bad Empanada like that? I mean, Sunday is right. Sunday is ditching my poor boy Bad Empanada like this. Why you do my poor boy dirty like that? Just kidding. Bad Empanada hates me and called me a pedophile. Okay. 4859. Okay, we haven't tried that yet. But I'm pretty sure that one of the digits says 6. But I'll try it for you. It's incorrect. We have to reset the computer now. I don't understand why people like Bad Empanada either. They used to say that his videos were well researched. No, it's like I have to wait 2 hours, then it gives me 1 try, then it tells me to reset the computer, and then I get my few tries. This is a weird system, but...
Well, if Israel wasn't Jewish supremacists,
Oh.
it wouldn't be meaningfully Israel anymore. Israel was created by Zionists in Israel. It wasn't created by the USA. What is he talking? It was a British colony. What is he talking about? It was a British mandate. What is he talking about?
Bad Empanada
Am I
is
crazy? Like, I legitimately don't know what he's talking about.
not very
Israel
well
was created with
educated.
the USA and every other settler colony. Does he not know the history at all?
No. He does not. He doesn't care.
Like,
Why did Bad Empanada call you a pedophile? Because I said in my video when I reacted to his Holodomor thing that he has a reputation of being pretty anti-Semitic. Okay? And then he said, oh, okay. Then this Lucy person has a reputation of being a pedophile. Or something like that. Okay. Guess the pin. We have our tries now.
he literally doesn't know the history.
Of course he doesn't. He doesn't care. Bad Empanada doesn't care.
Why is Ryan trying to get educated by Bad Empanada? Like, what is he doing? Ryan, I'm telling you, Ryan Beard's a dumbass. These people are dumb.
Who's Ryan Beard? I have no clue who that is. I have no clue who Ryan Beard is. It's a very weird name, by the way. Okay, let's try both of these. 6842. Incorrect. 6953. Also incorrect. Six, 572. We haven't tried that yet. Incorrect. Lucy, if I guessed it correctly, what do you be willing to do for me? I will listen to your advice for one. Incorrect. Now we have to wait for 2 hours. Thank you for playing. Thank you for playing the pin game. We have not guessed the pin. And now we have to wait for 2 hours.
Dumb, dumb, dumb.
Dumb, dumb, dumb.
I'm sorry. Israel was
That doesn't even make sense. I know Rob Fortune, but it's bad empanada, so
created by Zionists.
it doesn't have to make sense.
It wasn't created by the USA. It wasn't created with the USA in mind. It was created for Zionists. Why would you say this? This is so dumb. Read a book, George. Seriously. If Israel wasn't Jewish supremacist, it wouldn't meaningfully be Israel anymore. Sure it would.
That's stupid. And that's like saying if Poland would not be communist, it would not be meaningfully Poland anymore. Sure, it would not be the Polish People's Republic anymore, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still Poland. That's stupid. I kept saying to people that Bad Empanada is a dumbass. I'm actually very thankful for President Sunday for doing this, okay? Because I've been telling people, hey, Bad Empanada's a dumbass. He's not this well-educated guy who does well-researched videos. That's BS. And people were like, no. No, apart from him being a little bit crazy, he actually, he knows his stuff. He does the research videos, etc. Lucy's right once again, yet nobody listened to her. I mean, President Sunday is listening, sort of, kind of, in a way. You would listen to my advice? Does that imply you disregard my advice ordinarily? I mean, I feel like you can, I don't know, answer that yourself. I can't believe people thought that about Bad Empanada. Same.
Sure it could be. Easily.
I mean, a lot of people still do, so make of that what you will. When it comes to engagement, quote unquote, he dwarfs me, okay? Bad Empanada dwarfs me when it comes to engagement.
Reform the Constitution. Protect religious diversity. Give people citizens' rights based on where they were born. Boom, you're done.
Yeah.
He has videos on Herzl and the Mandate. Were they written by AI? Because somehow he seems to think that Israel was created with the USA in mind.
Yeah. It's stupid.
I guess he just forgot. I don't know. We don't have a constitution. Every country has a constitution. Constitution isn't just a single document. That's one of the problems with the American example, is that everybody thinks that a constitution refers to a piece of paper with the rules set for your country. It's not how that works. For example, England is common law. It has a constitution. You're talking about constitution. You're talking about literally the constitution, that which comprises and makes up the state in its terms of existence, its skeleton, if you will, right? No, England does have a constitution, just as constitution doesn't involve a central document. Every country has a constitution. Every country has a constitution. It's not just a document. Here, I question for you for people who don't think that every country has a constitution.
Here we go. President Sunday is giving you political theory time. That's supposed to be his wheelhouse, political theory. But then again, I would counter, or I don't even know if that's a counter, by saying that not every country has a codified constitution in the form of a document. In which case, President Sunday would probably say, well, yeah. What happened? Did Fido consume the internet? No, I don't know. The internet just keeps dying. It's the modem. I don't know. Maybe the provider has some problems today.
Aristotle wrote the Politeia of Athens, okay? The Politeia of Athens. What does that mean? Politeia refers to the form of a society. Do you know how we translate that? In modern translations, Constitution. The Constitution of Athens. Now, that's not referring to a document. So whoever did that translation had something else in mind. Constitution does not refer to a single document. When you reform the constitution of a thing, you reform how it's made up. You can protect.
Yeah, but when people say constitution, they usually mean the codified constitution in the form of a document.
You can enshrine the rights in a document that isn't necessarily identifiable with the Constitution. America, as a revolutionary government, has a constitution associated with its emergence as a state, and so they've been intimately linked. But constitution does not mean document. Super important distinction. This is why political science matters, even though it's very boring. So Ryan Beard says, so like, and I feel like I'm going to actually agree with George here, even though I'm increasingly of the opinion that he's either in mental decline or historically illiterate, which is weird because I actually remember as well. I remember that he actually did do videos on Zionism and the history of Israel, so I don't know how he forgot this. But Ryan Beard says, so like if there hypothetically was a two-state solution and you abolish...
Lucy, do you have Borderlands 3? I can check. Hold on. I think I do, actually. I think I actually do. But in a moment, we're gonna do a political segment before my internet dies. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I actually do. Yeah. I do have Borderlands 3, yeah. 106 giga. No. I'm not doing that. I'm not installing a game that takes up 106 gigabytes. Not, at least not for now. I've got Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition Enhanced, Borderlands the pre-sequel, Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker. And I've also got Tales from the Borderlands. That's weird. It tells me that it's just 106 gigabytes space required. That's what Steam tells me. Where did you get Shinobi Strikers? I have no clue. I just have it. I don't think I honestly have no clue how I got it. How I got it when I got it. Yeah, probably DLCs can be very heavy. Okay. I guess I'm gonna go to the toilet real quick. And when I'm back, we're gonna do the main segment for the night, which is immigration, because people are crazy about immigration, and it seems like facts and logic crash the narrative about immigration being bad. A quick reminder for all of you that are still here that this week I'm planning to go to Ukraine to cover the topic of children rescued from Russian kidnapping, as well as refugees that were taken out of the all the occupied territories. I'm gonna interview them. I'm going to attempt to film their living situations, etc. Depending on how accredited I will be when I go to Ukraine, my scope of operations will widen, or I don't know, become or narrow. And if you want to help me in that endeavor, then consider donating or subscribing. Yes, lock in other words. Gearbox tried to remedy the terrible story of Borderlands 3 by releasing good story DLC, so they're pretty big. Okay, that's pretty cool. So yes, consider please. Yes. I'll be right back. And we're gonna do the main topic because it's time. I just hope the internet will not die in the meantime. I'm gonna do a whole impassioned speech about immigration because it's a topic that is so mishandled. And every time I mention immigration, I've got a ton of angry people entering the comments and writing, "You're wrong. Immigration ruins the country. It makes everybody bankrupt. The immigrants are leeches that just destroy the system because they ruin social services." And I just facepalm and laugh. I don't know. We're gonna talk about it in a minute. It's funny. Well, it's not funny. It's actually extremely sad because it buys into a horribly dangerous narrative. But yeah, I saw. I think it's because of the spyware thing. Lettuce. I don't think it's because of the game itself. I think it's I think the negative reviews are about changes around the game rather than the game itself, but I might be mistaken. I'll be right back. I've got a book here that I really want to read. It's written by Constante Gebert, a war journalist, a Polish Jewish war journalist, and he wrote a few books that I'm reading. The first one is Final Solutions, Genociders and Their Work. Oh, let us can actually get it. Like, it's Ostateczne rozwiązania, ludobójcy i ich dzieło by Konstanty Gebert, aka Kostek. War journalist. I know him personally. He's a friend of my parents. He also wrote a book called Pokój z widokiem na wojnę, Historia Izraela. Peace with a view on war. And, well, it's self-explanatory. It's a book that describes the history of Israel. Yeah. War journalist. He went and did war journalism during a few conflicts. I could try to get him on stream, actually. He did lectures in English about genocide as well. He basically talks about a few very important facts of genocide. The fact that he says that genocide is the bastard child of the Enlightenment. He says he interviewed people that did the Rwanda genocide, which I find to be very interesting. He interviewed people that went out with the machetes and chopped people to bits during the Rwanda genocide. And he said that people that commit genocide, and that is a big difference between genocide and murder or mass murder. That murderers a lot of the time have things like second thoughts, or they feel regret after the fact, and a lot of murderers even know that what they're doing is bad. And when it comes to genocide, there's this and this repeats with many genocides. There's this, that was even the case for the Nazi Holocaust. There's this sense of trying to make the world a better place, and the group that needs to be eliminated to achieve that better world is in the way. And genocide is not seen as something that is done for pleasure, for fun. There is no joy in doing the deed, but is deemed as necessary in order to get to the outcome. The outcome itself, the outcome is not the group being destroyed. The outcome is the better world that comes after, if that makes sense. And that means that people that commit genocide fundamentally see themselves as moral people. And because people that commit genocide see themselves as moral people, that very, very greatly alleviates any feeling of sort of remorse about the deed itself. Because if you did it for a greater good, if you did it for the better world that you want to create, then what you did was moral and good, and there's no need to feel remorse. Does that make sense? What I just said? Does any of that make any sense? Okay. And I find that very interesting. And the person that Constante Gebert interviewed was also an interesting case, because first of all, he said that what he did, interestingly enough, God, in the current internet landscape, people would crucify Constantin Gebert for what he did, because he went with the person that committed the genocide for a beer, and he interviewed him over a beer. And he noted that the person that went out with a machete and chopped up whole families to bits was actually a very personable guy, a very, very nice fellow. So, like, I've some food for thought. But he said that the person told him that what he did was hard work, that a human is a big animal and that chopping them up is hard work, that he could not just stand on the sidelines and let others do the job, and that he had to be part of the community and fulfill his responsibility. That is also a big part of the whole equation, by the way. And what I found interesting, because he got arrested at some point for the crime, is that he said, I've been deceived by the propaganda, by my government. I've been deceived to think that I've been doing a good thing. Okay? And he went to the survivor of the family that he went and chopped up. A woman survived from that family. He went and apologized to her, and she did not forgive him. She did not accept his apologies. And his reaction to that really struck me. He said, I realized that what I did was wrong. I made amends. I went to her. I apologized. And she still did not accept my apology. She still did not forgive me. And he continued to say, I don't understand how she could do something like that to me. I don't understand how she could be like that to me and not forgive me. Isn't that interesting? After she chopped up her entire family and sort of, I believe, wanted to chop up her, but she survived. How can you not forgive? I realized that what I did was wrong. How can you not forgive me? How can you be so immoral as to not forgive me? So, yeah, the people that commit genocide are actually convinced that they are doing a moral thing. They are convinced that they are moral agents. And that is an important thing to realize when analyzing genocide. And bear in mind, that is an excuse that is more commonly done than you would think. What is the most common excuse for the Holodomor? Oh yeah, millions starved, but you know what? The industrialization was very important and necessary. So, it's for the greater good. In fact, as Stalin wrote in one of his papers, the peasants represented the national question. The peasants themselves are an army serving the national question. So of course, not only two birds with one stone, not only do you do the industrialization, but also you get rid of that army that serves the dreaded national question. Perfect. Wow, I did a whole impromptu genocide thing. Or maybe that's because I've been talking to a friend about it recently. They are a bit of a genocide scholar themselves, and I sort of want to get them on at some point. Seems like he placed a lot of the blame for what he did on the government, and with that in mind, he expected to be absolved somewhat. Yes. Yes. There's a whole to talk here about the fact that this whole idea of destroying the group not being the goal, and destroying the and the better world being the idea, the goal. Vladimir Putin super? What? Okay, hello. I have no clue what you're talking about. And just a regular genocide tangent. The Lucy special, true. True. Technically speaking, and this is not talked about a lot, but this goes into the idea. Did you know that, technically speaking, well, Ella, you're stupid, okay? If you're saying that seriously, then you're stupid, and if it's a joke, then I don't know what to tell you. So, the Nazis actually forbade killing Jewish people for personal or just for pleasure or just for the fun of killing. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the project of killing Jewish people was also treated as this glorious big project that would lead to a better world. And there were actually people prosecuted, believe it or not, for killing Jewish people just for fun. In line with that logic. It is very weird, but it is said that in that way there were Jewish people that actually got their dignity back in life, in death, because their murderers got prosecuted. Sprawdzam, czy rozumiesz polski. Chyba rozumiesz. Tak, rozumiem polski. Jestem z Polski. I'm Polish. I do understand Polish. So that was just testing. You don't think that Vladimir Putin is great. I hope. I sincerely hope. I'm speaking English because my audience is primarily English, so I'm not gonna engage in Polish. Jestem w stanie, but I won't. If that makes sense. To świetnie. Nie, oczywiście z Putinem to był żart. Okay. So that's fair enough. Fair enough. I am actually Polish. It's not some joke. It's not some troll. Where would I be from? I mean, alternatively, I could be from Ukraine, like I said once as a joke, but I don't speak fluent Ukrainian. The only reason why I understand Ukrainian is because it's similar to Polish, to the extent that it is. Wait, Elo, are you a new viewer? I guess I have to ask you now, Elo. How did you find this stream? What other streamers do you watch? And how do you like the stream? And are you a trans-friendly person? Because I'm a trans person. It's not always clear to people, but I am actually a trans person. Sometimes people lose sight of that. Okay, the the reviewing of American election the reviewing of American election coverage is actually a successful video. Considering my size, it has over 400 views. Lucy is Ukrainian, actually. Don't listen to her. Okay. I see. I see how it is, Lettuce. I'm being betrayed by my own constituents, by my own viewership. We're going to be talking about the derangement of anti-immigration sentiment in a moment, by the way. This is going to be a great thing. All right, I did my genocide tangent, and now I'm going to do a proto-genocide segment. Okay, I did tell you that I'm trans. A trans woman. Okay, a trans woman. Okay? Lettuce, I trust you. I trust you to keep tabs on this person. Okay? Oh. Well, I apologize. Nie prowadzę streamów po polsku. Większość mojej widowni jest angielskojęzyczna. I just said that I don't do streams in Polish because most of my viewership is English speaking. For anybody that's curious. Also, jestem osobą trans kobieta. Um, uh, hmm. Okay. Interesting. All right, let's do the... Interesting. I'm gonna do the segment now. Before the internet dies. Also, if you wanna support my work, then why not join the page and consider subscribing or donating so that I can be better prepared for Ukraine. Okay, let me look at some data. I'm ready here. I'm ready. So, some years back, I attended a conference. The conference name was Shoah Holocaust, the Wasted Lessons, okay? Or rather, the Wasted Lessons of the Holocaust. It was a broad conference about genocide and about how we collectively as humanity basically have not learned anything from the Holocaust, the Shoah. And the conference was held in the Museum of Jewish History in Polin, in Warsaw, a very beautiful museum, which I also recommend anybody to visit when in Poland. And one of the lectures, because the conference was broken down into a series of lectures, topical lectures about, for example, the Holocaust itself, about various genocides happening in the world, about how genocides are happening and we don't really react to them, we grow complacent. The theme is wasted lessons. So of course, it's going to be a series of hard-hitting lectures about how we are letting history repeat itself. And one of the lectures that caught my attention the most was the lecture about the international problem of immigration, of refugee crises, about dehumanization of refugees, about tokenization of refugees, the story of the so-called no one's lands. And what a no one's land is that when you have a border, then it's not just a border. Sometimes it is the case that you just have a line. On one hand, you have country A, and on the other side of the line, you have country B. But a lot of the time, that's not really the case. A lot of the time, you have this neutral zone between borders. And that neutral zone, is referred to as no one's land. It belongs to no one. And that is where, during World War II, Jewish people were sort of trapped when they were trying to escape the Nazi regime and not to be killed. That's a thing that happened historically. And this sort of retelling of the history of Jewish people that were trapped in no one's lands was given as a comparison to what's happening today, when refugees are often trapped in those no one's lands and without food, medical assistance, anything to drink, sometimes under the open sky, exposed to the elements. That is a harsh reality of the situation. Such a reality was also true for Poland. Ever since, I believe, 2019 or maybe even earlier, we have had a border crisis, a humanitarian border crisis, in which people were forbidden from giving the refugees food, water, or anything else to drink, medical assistance. And it looks like, we basically are seeing a level of dehumanization that enters the levels of genocide, according to the lecture, at least, that I've listened to. He said that the international problem of the dehumanization of refugees and the structures in place when it comes to how they're treated, that all that you would have to do is pull the trigger, that everything, all the underlying mechanisms for a genocide are in place, that we are at a stage of a proto-genocide. That's one aspect of the refugee thing that I wanted to talk about. The second is that there's this huge narrative. It's present in the United States. It's present in Europe for certain. I'm not sure about other continents. I haven't looked into it, but the narrative is as follows. Immigrants, especially refugees, for some reason, asylum seekers are basically invaders. Those invaders are here to take your jobs, lower your wage, drain your social services, leech on the country. They don't want to work, and they want to destabilize the country and destroy the culture and replace the native population. Those are the common narratives that the anti-immigration crowd uses to justify policy and scapegoating immigrants for everything and anything. And in some cases, those are the narratives justifying huge deportation plans, the emboldening of organizations such as ICE. We all know what's happening in the United States right now. Right? We all know what's been happening in the US. What is still happening. We all know about the Los Angeles riots. We all know what caused them. We're gonna probably do an update on that topic soon. And hello, Mr. Green. There's one interesting case that destroys this whole narrative. It just completely wrecks it. It demonstrates that the opposite is true. And it's proven with empirical data. As you may or may not be aware, at the beginning of the full-scale invasion in Ukraine, Poland has received a huge amount of Ukrainian refugees. Poland has accepted a lot of refugees. Over 1 million. A lot of people. And the mechanisms that were put in place in order to assist them are as follows. They were given a simplified access to the job market. They were given a simplified road to being able to open a small business. And they were given access to the social security services just like Polish people. Okay? Oh, for a second there, I thought people said, I love the segment so far. But no, you're talking about Linux. Okay, I see how it is. Let me check the chat for a moment. Now I'm hurt. For a second, I thought, wow, people are loving my segment. But no, that's not the case. Yes. I'm going to be talking about the whole, by the way, I'm going to be talking about the whole presidential election thing. There were inconsistencies, there were mistakes done in the voting, but according to the investigation done, the mistakes were not on a scale that would actually meaningfully actually how should I say, affect the outcome. And already the ruling coalition has came out and said, this is a nothing burger. We're not challenging the election result. So yeah, we're gonna talk about it. I have this sort of prepared for today, but let's continue talking about immigration, okay? Ukrainian refugees that were accepted in Poland at the beginning of the invasion, because this is quite important. This is quite an important little thing. Yes. Okay, they are significant errors, okay? But they are not statistically significant enough to have caused a call. Like, the point of the saying that they're insignificant errors is saying, even if we count them all up, the result of the election would still be the same with all the errors included. All right. Apologize for being blue. I'm sorry. I'm talking about a sad subject. Of course, I'm gonna peel the blues. I think that's reasonable on my part. Okay. So, as I said, because this is going towards some good news for once, okay? And I've done a topic on immigration before. I've talked about this very same subject, talking about how Ukrainian refugees have contributed to the Polish economy. I got a ton of really angry messages, comments under the video. Usually people saying that they're from the UK, talking about how I don't understand anything, how Ukrainian people are actually a drain on the Polish economy, that if Ukrainian people are 8% of the current Polish population, then they should be generating 8% of GDP for some reason, because otherwise they're a net negative to the GDP, which is not how that works at all. That's not how GDP generation works. It's not one it's not 1-to-1, okay? Like, a percentage of people has to generate exactly the same amount of GDP. That's nonsense, okay? So yeah. Now, okay, we have empirical evidence. A study was made by a group called the UN Refugee Agency. Okay? The UN Refugee Agency has demonstrated, I'm gonna put it on screen now for all the people that are skeptical. In 2024, Ukrainian refugees had a net impact of 2.7% to Poland's GDP. And the next part is kind of important in my opinion. With employment rates increasing from 61 to 69 in just 1 year. Poland's swift opening of its labor market enabled refugees to integrate economically and support themselves primarily through work. So basically, as I've said many times before, Ukrainian people put into the economy more than they take out via social programs. They are net benefit. And there has been no wage decrease, as this data suggests, as this study suggests. No wage for Polish people have been decreased. It has not caused Polish people to be hired less, which means that Ukrainian people as immigrants have only been a benefit to the country. The whole narrative has been completely demolished, completely refuted. Drain on the economy? Nope. They contribute via being active in the work, the work market. Drain the social security system? No. They contribute more to the economy than they receive from the social security programs. No wage decrease for Polish people, and Polish people still can get jobs just as easily as they could before. It just demonstrates, and let's make it clear, because I know what arguments are coming, at least from some people, from some sections of the anti-immigration crowd. There are two types of anti-immigration people, okay? There are ones that say no immigration is good. We should ban all immigration no matter what, legal or illegal. Those are the biggest fanatics as far as I'm concerned. But there are also racists, and they will say, to what I'm proposing here, to what I'm demonstrating here, they would say, okay, so the Ukrainian people have indeed benefited Poland, but Ukrainian people are culturally similar. Ukrainian people integrate well. Ukrainian people are just simply more in line with European values than those horrible people from the Middle East or from Africa. To which I say, in my personal opinion, and that is the only thing that I can present here, it's irrelevant. Okay? If you create conditions which were created for Ukrainian people, that is my that is the thesis that I'm putting forward. That is my argument that I'm putting forward, that if you would give immigrant groups the conditions that Poland has given to Ukrainian people, so simplified access to the work market, simplified access to legalize and stay, simplified access to social services, then you would simply see benefits. If instead of roadblocks, instead of antagonizing, instead of ICE, you would see a simplified roadmap to being able to get a job or start a small business, I guarantee you it doesn't matter if the group was from Africa, Middle East, anywhere, you would see, in my opinion, similar results. And I would need to be proven different in order to believe otherwise. That is the gist of what I'm trying to say here. Okay? Ukrainian people are not special in that regard. They're not special in that regard, that they are uniquely structured to be able to find a job, integrate, etc. It's all a matter of creating the conditions for people to be able to do that. And those conditions were clearly created here. And that resulted in basically a net positive result. Okay? And actually, this organization completely agrees with me, because their conclusion is the data clearly show, it should be shows, the data clearly shows that refugees are not just recipients of aid, they are contributors to economic growth. Inclusion of refugees through advanced language classes for professionals and relaxing occupational restrictions would assist certain groups in entering the labor market and bringing higher value added. Targeted investment in human capital, especially for displaced populations, is not only socially responsible, but economically sound. It strengthens communities, improves household welfare, and builds a more inclusive labor market. That is basically, I think this sentence sums it up perfectly for me. I think this completely defeats the argumentation by the populist right wing about invasions, about stealing of jobs, about crime, etc. It just completely demolishes the argument. And I would go as far as to say, okay? And I don't think I'm exaggerating when I'm saying this. If doing a thing causes net benefit, okay? If making it easier for refugees and immigrants to find a job, to integrate, results in a net benefit, then it is very, in my opinion, it is completely fair to say, if you do the opposite, then what is it? It's a net negative for the country. If you're basically cutting off the road for the country to benefit, then you're impacting the country negatively. Okay? Anti-immigrant policy is a net negative for countries. That is what I'm putting forward. And that is where I'm going to end this segment here. It is a detriment for countries to adopt an anti-immigration policy. So what do we think? Also, I hate to be harsh, but if you were dating a Ukrainian girl and you dumped her just because she was Ukrainian, then how do I put this? She dodged the bullet. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a jerk. Okay, I'm an asshole. That girl dodged a bullet. Good for her. I guess it's a blessing in disguise that you broke up with her. Okay, she deserves someone better. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this. You can feel free to translate to aloud what I just said, okay? Oh my goodness. How do you feel about this segment? Any thoughts? Any questions? Let me see if it's a healthy long segment of over 10 minutes. Okay, perfect. It's a healthy segment. All right. I managed to draw a lengthy, healthy segment. Even I can do it. If I can do it, anyone can. I noticed that I'm getting more and more Polish viewers, by the way. I'm getting more and more Polish viewers in the chat, which is interesting. Some even don't speak English at all. Yeah. Lettuce is spitting facts in the chat. I don't have to say anything else. Lettuce is spitting facts in the YouTube chat in Polish. I love the argument. Stumbling potato. Oh, you loved my argument as in my segment on the immigration? Perfect. So many new viewers today. Hello, Stumbling Potato. How did you find the stream? I'm sorry, I always do this, okay? I'm trying to grow from a micro creator to a small creator, and in order to do that, when I see a new viewer, I excitedly ask them, how did you find this stream? What other streamers do you watch? And also, how do you like the stream? And would you like me to introduce myself to you and tell you what I do in general, outside of just what you saw now? I'm small enough that I can welcome each new viewer. I hope it's not intimidating. Guy in YouTube chat broke up with a girl because she was Ukrainian, and I'm trying to speak some sense into him. But I'm sorry. I don't have sympathy for the guy. It might sound harsh, but I don't have sympathy. She dodged a bullet. As far as I'm concerned, good for her. She will find a person that will appreciate her for who she is and not just judge her on if she's nationality A, B, C, okay? If you cannot get past that, then that's your issue to tackle. I don't really have any sympathy for this sort of attitude, to be quite honest. I am not new. I think I even have an account on your site. Oh, you do? Perfect. Consider joining, because I'm going to go to Ukraine very soon, okay? I loved your perspective on Ukraine. Speaking of my perspective on Ukraine, I'm going to travel to Ukraine soon to cover the topic of Ukrainian children kidnapped by Russia. And if you like my coverage of Ukraine, if you like what I do, then please consider joining the page and subscribing or donating, considering that I need funds to be able to travel to Ukraine and do the work that I sort of want to do. LA riots hot on the bot. Oh, we're going to be talking about LA riots. I think, interestingly enough, I believe that the topic that I just did is related to the LA riots, because it's all about that anti-immigration sentiment. Unfortunately, it's all about that anti-immigration sentiment at the end of the day. I mean, the LA riots started from the opposition to ICE, didn't it? And what does ICE do? It does raids in order to find people to deport. Hey, start covering all the shit that's going down in the United States and you'll get all the money you need. I mean, I do cover the United States to a certain degree. I do cover American politics to a certain degree. But yeah, of course I have to prepare a bit more, but I do cover American politics. We're going to be doing an Nobody's anti-immigration in the United States. We are only anti-illegal immigration for the last 40 years. Okay. Desidaru, consider this. Any immigration will be illegal. Any immigration will become illegal when you declare it so, okay? Any immigration will become illegal when you declare it so. When you create obstacles, the more obstacles you create to legal immigration, the more illegal immigration you will see. That is just a fact. Like going back to the Ukrainian example, keep in mind, not only the road to getting a job was simplified, the road to legalizing stay was also simplified for Ukrainian refugees. That is a big factor to their success and their contribution to Poland's economy and Poland overall. So if you are truly against illegal immigration, the question isn't about being anti-illegal immigration. The question is, what is your solution to illegal immigration, quote unquote? Okay? And in my opinion, if you're truly anti-illegal immigration, your prescription, your solution would be to turn illegal immigration into legal immigration. Okay, if you say so. The data seems to contradict you. I'm sorry, the example that I've just given seems to contradict you, Desidaru. You tell me, what makes illegal immigration bad? What makes legal immigration good as opposed to illegal immigration? What's the difference? What is the difference? What makes illegal immigration illegal? Another good question. So explain to me why I don't know what I'm talking about in light of this. I'm willing to learn. I'm open to learning. Tell me what I don't know. Yeah, and that's bad. That's bad, actually. That is a bad policy. Why do you think I called it a humanitarian crisis? Do you know how many people died? The example of Ukrainian refugees demonstrate that it's a bad policy, actually. I don't think you've been paying attention. Yeah, that's bad. You should watch a movie called The Green Border. That explains it. Yeah, but if the country creates hostile laws then what are you going to do? I think you're looking at the problem backwards, actually. Like when the country created friendly conditions for a group to be able to come to the country, find a job, and integrate, guess what happened? Net benefit to the GDP, net benefit to the country in general. And do you know what happens when you create hostile laws and hostile regulation when it comes to immigration? You've got fences, you've got pushbacks, you've got border patrols. You sink a ton of money into it. So you tell me which policy seems to bear more positive fruits. You explain that to me. Is it making people illegal, or is it simplifying their road to being legal and finding a job and becoming part of society? I don't think you're engaging in my argument at all. You're just not engaging. There's no point. And yes, Poland's policy towards Ukrainian people was not always that friendly. Okay, I remember when it wasn't. Just so you know. And there was a lot of illegal Ukrainian people in Poland at that time. A lot of illegal aliens that were Ukrainian. Just so you know. The only thing that changed was that Poland changed its policy to be more friendly. And again, the empirical results speak for themselves. So explain to me once again what your point is and what is it that I don't understand. Because again, the policy of Poland towards Ukrainian people has not always been that friendly. Let me actually Google it. How is the anti-immigration narrative failing? Rewind the stream, okay? Watch this. I'm not gonna repeat the whole segment that I did before just for you, Jack. Don't do it. I love you very much, but I'm not gonna do it, okay? I'm not gonna redo the whole segment just for you. It is speculated that up to 2 million Ukrainian people might be in Poland and that many of them might be actually undocumented. So, what do you make of that? There was a point when there were 3,468,068 Ukrainian people in Poland. About twice as many as there were before the war. There will always be ways to come to the United States. One of them should not be because I want to be there. Europeans do not understand what the United States is. I'm sorry to break your bubble, but all of what are Americans right now went to the United States because they wanted to be there. Maybe you don't understand what the United States is because that is basically how the United States was created. Okay? I'm gonna read you a little something, okay? It might be a shock to you. Maybe you should read a book. Maybe that would help you, but a little passage for you. On how much better the land seems from the sea than the sea from the land. The Spanish official who crossed the Atlantic in 1573 can hardly have been alone in his sentiment. After anything up to 12 weeks tossing on the high sea, the European emigrants, more than 1.5 million of them, between the 1500s and 1780s, who stumbled uncertainly onto American soil, must have felt in the first instance of an overwhelming sense of relief. We were sure, wrote Maria Diaz from Mexico City in 1577 to her daughter in Seville, that we were going to perish at sea, because the storm was so strong that the ship's mast snapped. Yet, in spite of all these travails, God was pleased to bring us to port. Differences of creed and national origin paled before the universality of experience that brought emigrants 3,000 miles or more from their European homelands to a new and strange world on the farther shores of the Atlantic. Fear and relief, apprehension and hope were sentiments that knew no cultural boundaries. The motives of emigrants were various: to work, or alternatively not to work, to escape an old society or build a new one, to acquire riches, or, as early colonists in New England expressed it, to secure a competency. But they all faced the same challenge of moving from the known to the unknown, and of coming to terms with an alien environment that would demand of them numerous adjustments to and a range of new responses. Yet, to a greater or lesser degree, those responses would be shaped by a home culture whose formative influence could never be entirely escaped, even by those who were most consciously rejecting it for a new life beyond the seas. Emigrants to the New World brought with them too much cultural baggage for it to be lightly discarded in their new American environment. It was, in any event, only by reference to the familiar that they could make some sense of the unfamiliar that lay all around them. They therefore constructed for themselves new societies, which, even when different in intent from those they left behind them in Europe, unmistakably replicated many of the most characteristic features of metropolitan societies as they knew or imagined them at the time of their departure. So there you go. I'm sorry to tell you, but the United States was created on immigration. It might be a shock to you, it might be a shock to your system, but without immigration, without people just wanting to go to the United States, there would be no United States. Okay? I'm sorry this might be a big shock to your system. Yeah, I'm sorry. A lot of people that are now citizens of the United States came to the United States after the Industrial Revolution. Jack, don't do it. Read a book. Read a book on your own country's history, for God's sake. It's embarrassing for a Polish person to know more about it than you. Same for Desi Danu, okay? Yeah, I'm sorry. I read books, unlike you, okay? I'm sorry, I don't believe in this genetic memory of nations that if you are born in a country, then you inherently know more about it than anybody else, okay? I'm sorry, but that's not how that works. I'm sorry this might be a shock to your system, but this is not how these things work, okay? I'm gonna make the viewer in YouTube. I'm also 41. Też mam 41. So don't be sad. Yeah, I know, but it's not right to come here illegally and break the law while demanding more from taxpayers. I'm sorry if again, I will repeat this argument once again for the last time. If a country creates unreasonable hoops, unreasonable laws about immigration, then people will come illegally, okay? Simple as. Simple as. If the law is bad, you change it. Simple as. As Raphael Lemkin said about genocide. That's stupid. I'm sorry. Legal is not the all end all. Again, if you create unreasonable laws, people will break them. Their response is to create reasonable laws. If you want to sink money, I'll tell you this, Jack, don't do it. If you want to sink money, if you want to waste time, if you want to waste resources, you can. You can build walls. You can assign the National Guard. You can assign the army to keep people out. Or you can create simplified protocols for allowing people to stay legally. You can create simplified ways for people to get jobs and start businesses and reap the benefit, okay? That is what happened with Ukrainian people in Poland. A net benefit. But if you want the alternative, suit yourself. If you want ICE, if you want riots, because the LA riot is a direct effect of what you're talking about, then sure, have fun, okay? I choose net benefit to the country rather than violent riots because of ridiculous immigration policy. But, to each their own. No, if there's bad law, you change it. That's stupid what you just said, Jack. Don't do it. I cannot believe what I'm hearing. Just because something is law, it doesn't mean that it's automatically good. Okay? When Jewish people were segregated from being able to sit on German benches, from using German toilets, from using German swimming pools, that was law, okay? It doesn't mean that it was good, or otherwise it would be anarchy. Okay? So that's stupid. The argument that it's there for a reason is also stupid. I've just given you an example of Nazi Germany segregating Jewish people from public life. It was enshrined in law. Was it there for a reason, Jack? Don't do it? Explain it to me, please. Make your case. Go on. Anarchy is also not the absence of rules. Let's not get into that even. I don't even need to go into that. So yeah. Oh, so you don't have a response. Thank you. Thank you for proving my point. By your logic, it was perfectly sound to do the segregation. Okay, let's not go to the Holocaust. Was the segregation in the United States, Jim Crow, etc., was that good? It was legal. Let's go, Jack, don't do it. Like, explain to me how segregation in the United States was good. Separate but equal. Let's go. Jack, don't do it. Tell me. Well, the United States used to segregate, and it was legal. It was enshrined into law. Are you gonna tell me that it was for a reason? What was the reason? Jack, don't do it. You tell me. Anarchy comes from the Latin word an, which means not without, and archos, which means rulers, kings. Totally incomparable. What do you mean incomparable? Okay, explain to me why it's incomparable then. And now we are entering the debate with Chad portion. I have such empathetic and nice audience. Apart from Jack, don't do it. Nie ma problemu. Dobrze, że udało ci się porozmawiać z kimś sensownie w czacie. Yeah, that's not the argument that I'm making, Jack. Don't do it. It flew over your head. You said that the immigration laws, the way they are there for a reason. You basically made an argument of just because something is law, it's good because it's there for a reason. So I'm asking you, what was the legal justification for segregation? I'm asking you because you're making the argument of if it's legal, then it's for a reason and it's good. So you tell me. You said there was a justification for that. That's our history, and we learned from those times. No, you just said there are the law is there for a reason. Okay, and I said, um, if the law is bad, you change it. Segregation was a bad law, so it was changed. And I put forward that the same should be done with immigration law. If it's bad, then it should be changed. What's your counter to that? What's your counter to that argument? If you have any. American history class is notoriously bad. I've noticed. Americans being anti-immigration is peak irony, but that's vetted by who? What do you mean comeback vetted? That's not how that works. That's not how immigration works in general. Do you even know how immigration works? What do you mean comeback vetted? Vetted by who? What? What the hell does that mean? Comeback vetted? W porządku. Elo. Bringing in disease and bad infections. Oh yes, because I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break your bubble, Jack. Don't do it. But COVID was spread mostly by legal means. Okay, so don't even give me that bullshit. Don't even try to give me that bullshit. COVID was mostly spread by legal means. Yeah, diseases. Did you catch the word diseases? Do you know what the word disease means? Diseases. How do you even gauge bad intentions? That's stupid. Yeah, all illegal immigrants bring only good intentions, but all illegal immigrants bring only bad intentions. What are you, a child? Are you 5? What is happening? Is this a joke? Yeah, I hate to tell you, but people that are on terrorist watch lists were able to come to the US legally. Does that blow your mind? That people that were on terrorist lists were able to come to the US legally? Is your mind blown? No way. What a shock. No, they paid coyotes and walked in, not through the port of entry. No, they went. They went through the port of entry. They had the Schengen passport, which allowed them to go to Mexico, which allowed them to go to the United States perfectly legally. Whoops. Whoopsie daisy. Legally. Yeah, some of them were caught. It was discovered that they were on the lists, but it doesn't change the fact that they were coming in legally. What now? Oh, I just don't know what I'm talking about, except for the documented cases that got Poland into trouble. But, you know, whatever. I just don't know what I'm talking about, I guess. Why do you want open borders in the US so bad? I'm sorry, but I'm trying to be polite. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice, okay? Simplifying procedures for immigration does not mean open borders. I don't think you know what the term means. Open borders doesn't mean anything. True. True and real. True and real. We had open borders from 2020, 2024. Oh, so you don't know what the term open borders means. Got it. You have no clue what that means. I understand. It's okay. Come back to me when you read up about it. Jesus Christ. We had open borders from 2020 to 2024. I don't know how to help you if you really believe that. My father was one of the COVID victims. And right before the vaccine was developed, and no, not even developed, right before the vaccine was distributed. Why is it an 80-20 issue then? I have no clue what you're talking about. Why was immigration the biggest concern in the last election? For the same reason that it's a big concern all over Europe. Fear-mongering, scapegoating, populist rhetoric. I'm sorry, that's the reason. Again, I hate to burst your bubble. The United States is not unique in this. European far-right populists also use this argumentation, the exact same argumentation. If you think the United States is somehow unique in this, then you're more naive than I thought. Yeah, it is. The exact same argumentation is used in Europe. The exact same argumentation. It has, in my mind, it has just the same legitimacy as Grzegorz Braun saying, stop Ukrainization of Poland. Okay? No, it's not peaceful protests because Trump escalated and called the National Guard. So, no, it's not peaceful. It's not peaceful by any means. It's the direct result of your president's policy. It's very much not peaceful. No. It is not peaceful. So no, I do not think that it's a peaceful protest in LA. What now? Peaceful Gestapo agents disappearing innocent people. True. True. Unbelievable. God bless America. Well, it's getting screwed by your president currently, so it's gonna need all the blessings that it can get. That's all I'm gonna say. Your precious America is going to need all of the goddamn blessings that it can get because things are not good. Things are not good indeed. Oh, I wonder if I can show you a thing. Hold on. I wonder. Is that a thing that I can show you? I'm gonna show you great content, okay? I'm gonna show you the best content in the world. I wonder if I can just... Oh, I can! Okay, I'm gonna show you the best content in the universe. You ready? Okay. This is top tier content of Fido playing with a toy in the garden. We have earned this. Will you play a game, Lucy? Maybe later. You have earned this dog content. I'm gonna put on my 27 seconds. Yeah, it's my Fido. Yeah, see, this is now you see the face of the. Thank you, Lucy. Really needed this. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. This is the now you can see the full. How should I? This is the dog that eats my books. Tak mój Fido. Ma na imię. He eats my books. He eats my cables. But you know, you can't not love him. You know. Yeah, that's Fido. I recorded him. I filmed him in the garden. I'm gonna show it again, okay? Did you get that leak fixed? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have dryers here. They're blowing on the wall. Yeah, I got it fixed. This is the destructive doggy that eats all of my things and yeah. A long-haired German Shepherd. Oh yeah, it's like a squeaky chicken. Wait, where is he? I think he went to the couch. Okay, we're gonna do a few more topics before I play any games. I used to have a German Shepherd. His name was Balto. Interesting. Let's do another segment. I think my best segment today was the immigration one, but maternity hospital, of course. Of course, it was not enough for Russia to attack a cancer hospital, children's cancer hospital. No. Russia had to up the ante and attack the maternity hospital because why not? Russia is Russia. Oh my god. Oh crap. No. Oh no. No. Really? Oh, fuck. I went to that cathedral. I filmed inside of it. No way. Oh. Oh, really? Yeah, I went to that cathedral. God. Let me see. Yeah. Wow, okay. Russia truly is a terrorist state, isn't it? Ukraine's president denounces Russian attack on historic Kyiv Cathedral. Oh yeah, there definitely was a Hamas command center. This is so messed up. My God. Car garage, yeah. Let's take a look. A Russian attack has damaged Saint Sophia Cathedral in Kiev's historic center, one of Ukraine's most cherished monuments. An action denounced by President Volodymyr Zelensky as unacceptable and catastrophic. I believe inside there is like a.
The Ukrainian cities of Kiev and Odessa were subjected to yet another Russian attack overnight Monday, involving ballistic missiles and drones. According to local authorities, the attacks killed 2 people and wounded at least 12 more,
This
while
is what's
also
happening
damaging
in
a
Kiev.
maternity hospital. Explosions could be heard across the Ukrainian capital as air defense systems engaged incoming targets. According to Kiev's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, one drone crashed in the Shevchenkivsky district, igniting a residential building and wounding 1 person. At the same time, 1 drone crashed near a school in the Obolonsky district, and another struck an industrial building. The Russian army also targeted the Podilsky and Darnitsky districts.
So yeah. And for all people who truly know history and are not strangers to Christianity, even the threat of damage to or the destruction of Saint Sophia is an absolutely unacceptable thing. Catastrophic, Zelensky said in his nightly video address, but not for Russia. Mad with shaheeds and the red button and catastrophes are precisely the meaning of their existence. They produce nothing and they will leave nothing else behind. That is just the Saint Sophia Cathedral, the soul of all Ukraine. Cultural Minister Mykola Tochitsky, I don't like it's more. It's like it's a cultural heritage internationally, I would say. It's like it's such an old building. Russia had struck at the very heart of our identity again, calling the cathedral the soul of all Ukraine. Tochitsky said a blast wave damaged the cornice on the main apse of the landmark piece. Pieces of white plaster crumbled to the ground with a gap visible in a section of the cornice, Reuters video from the scene showed. As our security guards say, sometimes drones almost touch the crosses on the bell tower 76 meters above the ground. The cathedral was added to UNESCO's World Heritage. Of course it was. Like, it's in 1990 for its architectural importance. The United Nations cultural body describes the white cathedral and monastery complex with green roofs and golden domes as a symbol of the new Constantinople created in the region. Kirilenko reported no critical damage and said the site will be inspected by a specialized institute and repaired. More than a year after Russia's invasion in February 2022, UNESCO's World Heritage Committee placed the cathedral on the list of World Heritage in danger due to the threat of destruction the Russian offensive poses to the monument and integrity of its ancient interiors, mosaics, and fresks. Take a look. Of course, I visited here. It's devastating. Really devastating. But you know, that's The Russian world for you. It is indeed the Russian world for you. I have some recordings from the inside of the cathedral. There was an event happening when I went there. Oh my goodness. Can't even believe it. Oh, Polish president-elect hails very good phone call with Trump. I'm sorry, a more empty statement could not have been made, even if anybody tried, okay? A very good phone call with Trump. Trump keeps saying that he has very good phone calls with Vladimir Putin. And what does that amount to? Oh, yeah, it amounts to nothing. It amounts to Trump actually quietly sabotaging Ukraine, trying to weaken the sanction via Congress. Yes, Trump's cabinet is quietly trying to pressure the Congress into watering down sanctions. And also, I believe Mr. Donald Trump has diverted 20 anti-air missiles away from Ukraine and to the Middle East. So I'm sorry to say that having a very good phone call with Trump is not an achievement, because Trump says that about any phone call he has. He will always say, "Oh, I had a very good phone call." What a joke. Oh, this is actually a thing that I wanted to talk about more at length. I'm gonna go to the toilet real quick. I'm gonna give you the link to lucyhaze.org/live, and very interesting. A lot of new viewers today, and a lot of viewers that are not here usually. Lucy, I must depart for the night. No way. It's still so early though. It's still so early though. Hmm. It's 10. Yeah. I'm telling you, early. Okay. I'm gonna go to the toilet. I'll be right back. And I'm gonna be talking about the election again. Because I saw people talk about this topic in the comments about the possibility of a recount, about foul play, etc., etc. I've not been taking this super seriously, but it seems that it has been taken quite seriously by some, so I will address it. Our little timer is on 2 hours still. So, yeah. So, yes. Hmm. Oh god, and I have to wake up at like 6. Since I gotta take care of the dog, I have like a 50-minute commute. I mean, I know your pain. Although I don't know your pain because Fido is not aggressive towards me and your dog is. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna be back. Um, Charlie, Fido is being very nice. Alright, I'm gonna put on my special hat. Okay, can I put on my special hat? And I'm gonna do a segment about the Polish election because that's all the rage right now. The Polish election results. With the hat, yes. Because I've been told that I've got low energy and I have to try my best to do the segments better. To fulfill our goal of becoming graduating from micro streamer to small streamer. That's the goal. That is the dream. Hold on. 422. So when I say action, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing the Xander Hall. When I say action, you do the fraction. Lock in. Lock in, you guys. I'm gonna need you not to be a part of the problem, okay? All right. So, election results aftermath. We've already talked about a few, but one that I have not been talking about is the alleged irregularities that have been happening in the election process itself. Apparently, there are places where the votes that were supposed to go to Trzaskowski, the Lib candidate, were given to Nawrocki, the right-wing candidate, and vice versa. This actually happened. It's apparently documented that there are places in which this sort of complete mix-ups happened, mistakes. There was software that was used, and apparently it had errors as well. There were, I don't know, mistakes or just... there were weird things happening regarding the vote count. And there has been a lot of discussion about it. There were politicians that decided to publicly speak on it. Petitions have been signed, I believe, by more than 100,000 people demanding that the vote be recounted. President Andrzej Duda of Law and Justice has taken this opportunity to make a public statement that the ruling coalition is trying to overthrow the results of the election and that we must protect the little bit of democracy that we have left under the ruling coalition, that we must strike back, that we must defend ourselves. The current prime minister of the ruling coalition, Donald Tusk, said that Andrzej Duda is being silly. And of course, at the end of the day, it has been, apparently some investigation has been done. And results of this investigation has concluded that yes, there were mistakes, but those mistakes, even if taken into consideration, do not really change in any significant way the result of the election. And also, when this whole thing started, before Andrzej Duda said that the ruling coalition wants to overthrow the election, Donald Tusk also made a statement officially about this whole topic. And that official statement was, yes, we are getting information that there were some inconsistencies, that there were some mistakes, but we should absolutely not assume that therefore the elections were, that there was unfair practice in the election, that the election was rigged. And that assuming that the election was rigged is not good for Poland as a country. That was basically the attitude of the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk. That we should not jump into conclusions. And the current sort of position that the government, the coalition, and the Polish Prime Minister has landed on is expressed in this little article that I have for you. Ruling coalition isn't questioning presidential election results. Poland's centrist Prime Minister Donald Tusk has said the coalition he heads is not calling into question the results of a recent presidential election, narrowly won by the right-wing opposition candidate. Polish media have reported that the knife-edge ballot was marred by irregularities. I guess irregularities is one way to say it. In the June 1 runoff vote, the Liberal mayor of Warsaw, backed by Tusk's Civic Coalition Party, was beaten by less than 2% points by the opposition-backed conservative Karol Nawrocki. News outlets have reported that the results were switched from Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski to the benefit of Nawrocki in at least 2 polling stations, which, if the amount of these sort of incidents happening was big enough, would be a concern. Outgoing President Andrzej Duda, who is also an ally of the right-wing opposition Law and Justice Party, appeared to suggest on the X platform on Monday that the governing coalition was trying to overturn a legitimate result. See, this is what I was talking about. There is an impression that the post-communists, in league with the liberal left, want to twist the recent presidential election in Poland, the result of which has been determined, and take away our freedom of choice, Let's not allow it. This is a quote from Andrzej Duda, the president of Poland that is on his way out. Bitter divisions, because yes, of course, there are bitter divisions. Poland is a very bitterly divided country, considering the fact that the result of the election was decided by less than 2%. Like, it was very close. The country is very polarized right now. Emotions ran high in the election, which was held amid bitter political divisions between nationalists and liberals. Reported mistakes in local vote counts have triggered protests, online petitions, and a flurry of accusations. But it appeared that the scale of reported irregularities was too small to have affected the final result. And this is what Prime Minister Donald Tusk has to say about it. I haven't observed any of the leaders from our coalition attempting to cause anxiety or dispute the election outcome. State news agency PAP quoted Tusk as saying on Tuesday, "Instead, we are striving to remain calm and rational in adhering to what is mandated by the Constitution, the Electoral Code, and basic human decency." Tusk's comments echoed remarks he made last Friday when he warned against jumping to conclusions. He said on social media at the time that that any complaints against the electoral process would be handled by the Supreme Court, and cautioned that assuming in advance that the election was rigged does not serve the Polish state. The deadline for complaints to be lodged about election procedures is June 16th. As of Tuesday, over 24 had been submitted. So there you go. That's the situation. That is the official stance of the current government. I personally think that nothing will come of it. I think that this is a nothing burger. I don't think there will be a recount of the vote. I don't think that anything will come of it. It will be just a little bit piece of trivia, I think, at the end of the day. But I thought that it was worth talking about because this has been even mentioned on this stream. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? Also, today we will have the vote of confidence. Donald Tusk, after the victory of Karol Nawrocki, has decided to call for a vote of confidence for his government. He did it as a showing of that there is unity. He wanted to show through this that there is that the coalition is standing strong, because there's actually a lot of tension within the coalition, and the right-wing parties already thinking about early election or even replacing Tusk with a different prime minister and creating a completely new government. So today there will be a vote for confidence, and we will see if the coalition holds strong, if the current government will remain as is, or will Donald Tusk need to resign, and the newly chosen president-elect Karol Nawrocki will have to choose a new prime minister who will have to be approved by the parliament. And if he is not, and if they are not, then we will have an early parliamentary election on our hands. That is the current situation in Poland. And everything in regards to that will be decided today. We already have an official statement from the left-wing party, I believe in the coalition. The left wing has announced that they will give their vote of confidence to Donald Tusk's government. I feel like we can watch a video on it a little bit. I, of course, will definitely be talking about the vote of confidence after it will have happened. We'll see.
Tomorrow, the Polish parliament will hold a critical vote of confidence in Prime Minister Donald Tusk's coalition government. The vote comes in the wake of a narrow presidential election defeat by Tusk's ally, Rafał Trzaskowski, to right-wing candidate Karol Nawrocki, backed by the opposition Law and Justice Party. Seeking to reaffirm his government's mandate, called for the vote to demonstrate unity and resilience amid a shifting political landscape. The coalition holds a slim majority of 242 seats in the 460-seat parliament. A simple majority is needed to pass the vote, provided at least half the MPs are present. The outcome...
So we will see. We will see what will happen because, as you can see, the situation is far from being simple.
Could shape Poland's political future, with Nawrocki's presidency expected to challenge Tusk's pro-European agenda through potential vetoes. Should the government lose the vote, Tusk will be required to resign. In the meantime, Polish President-elect Nawrocki held a phone conversation with his American counterpart Donald Trump. The former wrote on social media platform X, saying the pair discussed the close partnership between Warsaw and Washington, with both inviting each other to visit their respective presidents.
Right, yeah, Trump, yeah. I don't think I have to repeat what was being said here.
Palaces.
There you go. I'm not sure why the phone call was mentioned in the context of the vote of confidence, but yes, Trump and Nawrocki had a very good phone call. What a fascinating development. All right. So this is going to happen tomorrow. Any questions? How long have we been streaming? I've been doing a marathon today. I've been doing a long gaming stream as well as I've done a politics stream. So I think I've streamed for 8 hours in total. So I suppose I should rest now. Good stream? Yeah, really? You think so? Well, thank you. Seems like we are on the right path, maybe. Do you feel like we're on the right path? Well, I feel like. Feel like things are going in the right direction. All right. We are going to raid you into VegCom. A chill stream by VegCom. Yeah? All right. Well, thank you. And then I will turn back on the fans that will dry the wall because I had to turn them off for the segments. I think I like the immigration one the most. All right. Yeah, I'm nervous about it as well. I'm gonna cover it, don't worry. I'll see you soon. Well, I'm worried as well, but you know. I am worried as well. I'm gonna put you in VegCom. Unless you want me to raid food shops. That's also a possibility. I could raid you into food shops. No, I'm not gonna do that to you. Okay. Bye-bye. I don't think you should. I don't think you should know food shops. No, it's okay. You never have to apologize for coming in late or whatever else. Never apologize for stuff like that. But you should lock in at the same time and you're part of the problem. Okay, bye-bye.